Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. This is Dinesh here, and in the next couple of videos we will create an Android app called as Smart LED, and for the Smart LED application we will also write an Arduino program which will run inside our Arduino. So guys, in this video we will just create the design for our Android app. Now as you can see, I've already gone ahead and created a new application called as Smart LED. If you want to create a new app, you have to click on Project, Start New Project, and then give your project a name. I have given the name of Smart LED. You can give any name you want. If you keep it Smart LED, that's well and better. Now, before adding components in the screen, I'll make some minor modifications in the screen. So as you can see, I've selected the screen over here. I'll change the align horizontal first to center. After that, next, I'll change the sizing to responsive. Okay. The advantage of using responsive screen is that the application that we create will be responsive on different screen sizes. Next, I'll change the screen orientation to portrait. After that, I'll just make the title visible to false, and I'll also make the show status bar to false. That is, I'll uncheck both of them. Now, after making the minor changes in the screen one, next, the first component that I'll add is a list picker. Now, list picker is actually the component using which we can select the proper HC05 Bluetooth that is connected to our Arduino. That is, when you click on this list picker option, it will show you a list of all the Bluetooth devices that are available in the network. So I'll select this list picker and I'll make some minor changes inside it. So first I'll change the text of the list picker to connect. Next, I'll change the text color to white. Okay, now the white color is not looking that good on gray. So I'll change the background color to green. I'll make the font bold. I'll change the font size to 20. And at the last, I'll change the width to 80%. Okay, so when I change this to 80%, the list picker will occupy 80% of the screen width. So I'll change this to 80, and the last thing that I'll do is instead of keeping the shape in a rectangular format, I'll just change the shape to rounded. Okay, so the edges, as you can see, are basically rounded over here. Next, I'll add a horizontal layout. Now this horizontal layout I'm adding just for spacing between the connect list picker and a button which I'll be adding next. So I'll select the horizontal layout, and next I'll change the height of this to 12%. After this, I'll again go in user interface and I'll add a button over here. Now the next thing that I'll do is I'll change the component names of the list picker and the button one. So for the list picker, I'll give this a name of connect list picker. Next, for the button, I'll change its component name to on button. Now after this, I'll add one more layout. Okay, and I'll change the height of it again to 12%. And next I'll add one more button. And as you guys would have guessed, this will be the off button. Okay, I'll click OK over here. After this, I'll put. Now, before I put any of the thing, now if you guys have a question like why I'm not changing the text of the buttons to on and off, then that is because instead of having a normal text of on and off, I'll be adding some images. So that's why I'm not changing the text of these two buttons. So as I was saying, I'll go in layout again. I'll put a horizontal layout. I'll again change the height of it to 12, and at the last, I'll put a disconnect button. I'll change the width of it. I'll change the width to not pixel. I'll change it to 80%. Now, since this will be a disconnect button, I'll change the background color to red. I'll make the font bold. I'll make this 20. Next, the most important thing, I'll change the text to disconnect. And at the last, since this black color is not looking that good on the red background, so I'll change the text color to white. Now guys, the next thing that I'll do is for this on and off button, okay, there is one more thing remaining. I forgot to rename this button to disconnect. Okay, so I'll just leave the name to disconnect. So my last button is disconnect. Now, as I was saying, I need to give a background image to this on and off button. So to give a background image, the first thing that I'll do is I'll select this button. After that, I'll go in images. Now I have actually kept 2 images on my desktop for the on and off button. So next I'll click on upload button. I'll click on choose file. You can see there are 2 images for on and off button. So first, since I've selected the on button, I'll select the on button image. Okay. Then I'll click on OK. After that, I'll again click on OK. So as you can see, since the resolution of this image is just too big, the image is actually going out of the screen. So that's not a problem because I'll make some minor modifications inside the width and height of this button. So I'll go in the height. So I'll first go in the height and I'll change the height of this image button to 20%. Okay. After that, I'll change the width of this to 70%, and let's check whether it's working fine or not. So I guess a height of 20% and a width of 70% is looking great over here. Next, I'll select this button and you can see I'm still getting this text of text for button 1. So I'll go here in the text and I'll remove this text. After that, next I'll do the same for the off button. So I'll select the off button. I'll go in images. I'll go to upload file, choose file. And this time I'll choose the off button. I'll click OK. And for the off button also, I'll change the height to 20 and I'll change the width to 70%. Okay, and at the last, I'll remove this text over here. Now, as you can see, this disconnect button is going outside. So what I'll do is I'll just change the horizontal arrangement a little bit. So I'll change this to 10%. I'll change this also to 10%. Okay, so now it's in the frame. Next, as you can see, the horizontal arrangement button is actually rectangular in shape. So I'll also change the shape of it. Oops, sorry, it's not the font type. I need to choose for the shape. Okay, so I'll also make the shape rectangular. Sorry, I'll also change the shape to rounded over here. So I'm basically finished with the app design. Now there is one final change that I have to make. Okay. Now when you run this app inside your smartphone, so during that time, the connect list picker will be fit exactly to the top of the screen and this disconnect button will be lying somewhere in the middle of the screen. Okay. So to make our app look a little more interactive, what I'll do is I'll click on screen 1 and I'll change the align vertical to center. So when you open your app for the first time, all these components will basically appear in the center of the screen. So guys, I basically finished with the design of the smart LED application. The links for the on and off button images are mentioned in the description. So please feel free to use these images if you want inside your app. So guys, that's it from this video. Thank you and I'll catch you in the next video.